Hi, folks. Welcome to episode 6 of the Counting Sheep podcast. My name is Ruth, and I am your host for today on this podcast about crocheting, knitting, spinning, and other bits and bobs that I get up to. Also, farm shenanigans. I'm hoping today that I'll be able to put some footage in from the farm, hopefully toward the end, so that in case you're not interested in that sort of footage, you can just kind of watch all this and then just turn it down or turn it off. The sheep are out right now grazing in our pasture. If you don't know, I live on a small farm in Vermont with my husband. We have a golden retriever named Cooper and a cat named Dora. She's a house cat and stays inside. And then we have 4 sheep, 2 of which are crosses, Shetland fin crosses, and I have 1 BFL and I have 1 pure Shetland sheep. And then we also have 10 chickens that provide us with nice fresh eggs. And our farm is up on a small hill in Vermont. Right now they are trying to fix a culvert. The road department is down our hill, so you might hear some racket from that. There's been a lot of loud banging and whatnot. We've had a lot of rain here lately, and we've had some downpours, which have caused quite a bit of erosion. So yeah, this is all kind of still we're picking up here in Vermont from all of the rain we've had. So that's about it for kind of an update. I'm at a different angle right now in my backyard. They have predicted some rain for today in about an hour or so. I'm hoping that I can dodge that as best as I can. So normally, yeah, the hummingbirds are over here, the feeders over here, so you might still hear them buzzing in and out and chittering. These are some of my houseplants that have done exceptionally well out here despite all the rain we've had, but I do come out and dump the water out periodically just so that they don't drown. But yeah, they've done really well out here. So onward and upward. I haven't got a lot of finished stuff this go around. I really was concentrating on getting my Vesuvius tee done for the crochet along. And if you don't know what that is, the Vesuvius tee is a design by Sandra Gutierrez of Nomad Stitches, and all this month, the month of July, she's been having a make-along for that tee. And I am so happy to have completed mine. I just took it off the blocking board yesterday for pictures, and I'm going to show you the finished product. So, and here it is. So this is done in Ritual Dye's Undine yarn, which is a cotton linen blend. I believe it's 60% cotton, 40% linen. I don't have the ball band kicking around right now. And this is the back. Here is, it's got a little split hem on it. I did add some length to it. And I used almost 4 skeins of yarn. I had 4 skeins, and I had this little nugget of yarn left, which if that isn't yarn chicken, I don't know what is. As a matter of fact, I was calling it something else. It was like yarn shenanigans or yarn something. But I had a name for it because this was no yarn chicken. This was like, we were sweating it toward the end. But I did get it done. I think I told you last time I'd gotten down to about this far. And then I went back to do the neckline because the neckline was on me was way out to here, and I just don't like things falling off my shoulders when I wear them. So I wanted to make sure that that neckline finishing was going to pull it in, and it did. So, and then there's a nice finishing as well on the sleeves. And it looks beautiful on. It really does. It's wonderful. So, and I just laid it. I wet it and I laid it flat to dry. So, so yeah. So that is the Vesuvius tea. And this being July 31st, the last day of July, I actually made it. So very proud of myself. I'm glad I was able to get it done. So, and I believe the pattern is, you can still get it for half price on the website until the end of August. I believe that. I may be lying, but and it was free if you were participating in the CAL on Sandra's blog. But, and I've been watching all of the other makes up on Instagram and Facebook, and they're all wonderful, especially the people who kind of strayed from one color. Those were enjoyable to see how people used color, and yeah, I mean, just such ingenuity and creativity. It's great. And that's what's great about a CAL. That's what's great about participating with other people in making the same thing, is that you get to see what other people take on it, you know, and their thoughts too, as well as getting support in case you get stuck and that sort of thing. So that's the Vesuvius. That is my only finished object, I believe, for this time around. Like I said, I was spending a lot of time on that because it was kind of like deadline driven, you know. So yeah, so that's it. The other thing that should be done, but isn't, is I showed this last week. I had some leftover yarn from another project, and I thought it was the perfect color for this crocheted frog. So cute. And this is by Claire Garland, and she is Dot Pebbles Knit. And I am using, like I said, yarn from my last FO, which was another Sandra Gutierrez pattern. And I got his body done. He looks kind of weird right now, and I kind of struggled a little bit with his chest and mouth and whatnot, and sewing it together. And I still fiddle with it. I'm still not quite sure if I'm satisfied with it. I did get one leg done, and this part of another leg. These are the back legs, and then he also has obviously 2 front legs. But yeah, and I stuffed him actually with a whole bunch of yarn ends, because every time I snip something after I've woven an end in, I'll save that, and they do accumulate, they do add up, and so they make really good stuffing for or adequate, you know, it feels adequate stuffing. So anyway, so that's my frog. Hopefully I'll have him done by the time we meet again. Like I said, last night I was working on it a little bit because I've been doing actually some knitting for a yarn shop. I've been doing a sample for a yarn shop, and it's only a hat, but it's in Fair Isle, so it's been taking more time than the average hat. So I managed to get that done yesterday, and so then I went to my frog to see if I could get him done, but I kind of petered out, lost energy, and you know how that goes. So that's the frog, to be continued. And so the next thing I want to show is another make-along, which is being hosted by the Grocery Girls, and it's called the Hot Granny Square Summer Cal, or make-along. And I showed this before. They had suggested, actually, one of the sisters suggested this pattern, which is Grannies in a Row Socks by Jen Yard, and I showed this last time. And I'm not going to make these as long as the pattern is. I wanted to make some shorties. And last time I was up to, I believe I had gotten both cuffs done and the squares and the cuffs. And I have since picked up to work down. So I picked up on both. I'm going to knit them 2 at a time on a long circular because I am notorious for knitting one sock and then have the project languish forever and ever. So this keeps me on task, and it may psychologically take longer, it seems, but for me, I like once I cast off, I have 2 socks complete and done. So that's kind of the way I like to do it. So I'm just at the point where I'm going to start a shadow wrap heel. That has become my favorite heel, and it's by Denise DeSantis of Earth Tones Girl Designs. And Denise is out of New Jersey, which is my old stomping ground. And so I love her sock heel a lot. I've used it in other projects, and it really fits me well. I know people need to really experiment with what heel fits their foot, because everybody's foot architecture is different. So I split the 1 ball of yarn that I had. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. There's that. It says it contains 35% blue-faced luster. So 75% wool, 25% nylon, which makes a good sock yarn. It even says perfect for socks on here. And the colorway I'm using is Peacock, or the number 851, which is Peacock. It is 437 yards to 100 grams, perfect sock weight yarn. And I divided it up gram-wise into 2 balls. I like to put little yarn cozies around my balls just to keep everything neat and tidy in the bag. Otherwise, things start to go crazy. So yeah, and I think the reason why I haven't gotten very far on this is because I was just putting off picking up stitches, and picking up stitches has never been something that I enjoy. So I don't know why. You know, they tell you to pick up a certain number of stitches, and you get to the end of the row and you realize you either don't have enough or yet have too many, you know, and then you got to go back. And so I think that's always been kind of my brain block, if you will. So, but yeah, I'm liking it a lot. I did a little planning down here, as you can see, with the balls to make sure that this kind of syncs. This up here I don't care. I think I'd like to keep it funky because the granny squares are funky. So there's the other side. But yeah, I think they should be really fun to wear. I'm looking forward to that. So it's nice that it's now, you know, the stitches are picked up and I can proceed. So that's the news out on the Hot Granny Square Summer make-along. I know the grocery girls have been on vacation, so I haven't seen updates, but I also haven't been in their Ravelry group to look at what people have been doing in terms of the Granny Squares. I had a peek a little while ago, and there was some really neat projects in there, but recently I haven't gone in there, so I think when they come back from vacation I'll have another look and see what's going on with that. The last crochet thing I want to share with you is something I shared last time, and I had said it was something I was doing in the background, and I decided I was just going to bring it to the foreground because it is so much fun to crochet and I have been loving it. So if you weren't here the last time, this is the Airy Fairy Cardigan. And this is by Lilla Bjorn Crochet. She has a lot of patterns out. And as you can see, it's kind of a V-neck cardigan. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing right now on it. I am doing this in a Wooldreamers yarn called Saona, and it is 50% wool and 50% cotton. And this colorway name is Notes, but it's a nice, you'll see, it's a nice off-white. Anyway, that's their lovely yarn band. It's getting really blown out there. I think because I'm at a different angle right now. And I did split for the sleeves. That's how far I've gotten with this. It's kind of like, I've been kind of squirrely with my knitting and my crocheting these past 2 weeks because I just have been knitting and crocheting what feels good, you know, because it's been so hot and muggy here. And thankfully yesterday, or actually Saturday night, we had some rain and the weather broke, and I think it went down to 60, and we were all like breathing a sigh of relief. And 60 might be really cold for some other people, but it's absolutely perfect for a Vermonter. We're used to that. So anyway, so this is my Airy Fairy so far, Airy Fairy cardigan, and it's, you know, a raglan increase. As you can see, I joined for the arms. The underarm join is there. And it's on the other side too. I'm so enjoying this. This involves all double crochet essentially, back post and front post, and the increasing on it is just so clever. Yeah, so, and I haven't picked out buttons for it yet. I think I'm going to wait until the end to see what strikes my fancy, but yeah, really fun. So if you want to pick that up, Airy Fairy Cardigan by Lilla Bjorn, and it is a fairly new pattern out. I remember I think it was just released a month ago or so, maybe more. So yeah, lots of fun. I am using a fairly small hook, 2.25 millimeter hook, which is American size B. All right, so that's that for crochet. I think we've got all that. I'm not going to show my pressed flowers cardi. This is on to knitting. That's my one knitting project because I haven't made any kind of progress on it at all. Like I said, there have been other things that have taken my time. The other knitting project I do want to share with you is the Liquorice Vest that I'm doing for my mom. We managed to go and visit her last weekend. We took a road trip to New Jersey, and I got to try try it on her, what I had done at the time, and I'm satisfied with the size that I chose. So so I want to show you this first. This is my Liquorice Vest that I did last year or the year before, and this is my hand spun from one of my sheep. This is Sierra, and obviously she's gray, but this was her very first fleece. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see the little white specks that are in it, and that is just lovely in a first fleece, because her fleece does not do that anymore. Her fleece, because she is part Shetland, changes from year to year and becomes more homogeneous. So I always kind of like to save their first fleece and process it myself, which means getting all the vetch matter out, all the dung tags off, washing it, scouring it, carding it, or if you're not going to card it, comb it, spin it, then obviously ply it and then knit it up. So it comes out quite variegated on its own. No other effort needed. So that's mine, and I realized I didn't bring my mother's out, so I will be right back. I always think I'm well prepared, and you know. You can see how that goes, right? Okay, so this is different because obviously I'm doing it in one of my other sheep's fleece, and this is my BFL lamb's wool. Make sure I can get this into a situation where you can actually see something. So this obviously doesn't have the ribbing on the neck yet, but as you can see, it's higher in the back than in the front, and you might possibly be able to pick out the lace pattern better in the white than in the gray. There are all my stitch markers. And even though it looks complicated, it really isn't. The charts are great. I'm following the charts right now. And obviously I've connected both front and back for the armholes there. Armholes are nice and deep, so it's a vest. It's really easy to wear. I love mine. Come fall and winter, I live in that thing. It's a nice layer to put on over, you know, a t-shirt or whatnot. So, and the fit is really nice too. It's no wonder my mom kind of really fell in love with it when she saw it on me. My mother is a seamstress by trade, has been. She's long retired, and so she's always looking at the fit of all sorts of garments and how they fit bodies and different bodies. So yeah, so I'm excited and psyched that this is coming along for my mom, and it shouldn't take me much longer. Let's see, once again I have one of the skeins balled up. This is my hand spun BFL lamb's wool. It's in a 3-ply. As you can see, there's a little nub in there, which I just love. Not smooth at all. I love that. And then I also have it in a yarn cozy because this really, the hand spun really has a tendency to just go its own way. So I like to keep it nice and neat. I have a couple more skeins inside of the hand spun, and then this is something that this skein I just got done plying up. This still needs to be wet blocked and hung, but this is hot off the wheel. And you can see the veg matter is still in there. So, very cool. So this is a fleece that I actually sent off to the mill, but I only had them scour it and comb it into roving for me. So I got back the clean roving, and I'm spinning from that. So I still have a whole bunch of it left too. So we'll see what happens. I might get into some dyeing of this, so stay tuned, watch this space. But yeah, so that's ready to be blocked, and I think I've just gotten myself over into spinning category. Oh, one last thing, I just want to show you the pattern if I hadn't before. This is the Licorice Vest by Joji Locatelli. So my second go around with it, both of mine in hand spun, but this does require or call for a bulky wool, a chunky weight wool, sorry, chunky weight yarn. They did theirs in Duolé by Julie Aslin. So, and it has sizes X small to 5XL, so a pretty good size range on this one. And like I said, it really looks good on a lot of different body types. All right. So that is the knitting portion, I believe. Yeah. And I showed you what I was doing for my mother's spinning. The other thing I got done was the last skein of this wild stuff. And I've shown this before. This is Classy Squid. So the plying is done, and I've blocked this as well. I just took it off the from the blocking, and it took several days for this to dry because it's just been so humid here. That's the one thing about, you know, doing things in the summer in the Northeast when it's so humid. Things just don't dry out really quickly. So there's that skein. And then I also, I guess, showed the last time, this is hot off the blocking too, this is from John Arbin Textile. This is 100% Corriedale, and that, yeah, is in Canta di Osana colorway. So there's the ticket on that one. All right. And then last but not least, I just wanted to show you that I think last time I showed you what I got from the trunk show down at Six Loose Ladies, my local yarn store. And this is from Dirty Girl Yarns, and I managed to divide this braid up. If you remember, I got this really lemon yellow braid from Dirty Girl Yarns. I also got a braid that looks more like a frog. But yeah, and so this was really, really fun, and I'm just going to show you real quick how it looks on my spindle. I hope it's not getting too blown out. And there's the rest of it about to be spun. So yeah, fun stuff. So that's what's new in spinning. And I think their prediction of rain is going to come true. So I think that's all I have for this go around. Like I said, I'm going to try to put some footage in of the farm, and I'll be talking along with that footage. So hopefully you'll get some good idea of what our farm looks like and what daily life is here. So until next time, keep crafting, stay safe, take care of each other, and take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi folks, I'm back. It did rain this afternoon, so I had to duck inside real quick. Sorry for the really quick cutoff there, but it's, as you can see, the sun is behind me, and it's turning into a beautiful evening. Cooper is out with me in our backyard here, and I just thought I'd give you a little tour of our barn, as well as the paddocks and that sort of thing. And our sheep have come in, so I am going to turn the camera around. 1 second here. Here they are in all their glory. Let's see if I can film them. This is Gillyflower there. And here comes Mala, my BFL. She thinks I have food. And this is Gilly. And the two off there on the left is Sierra, and on right there, the brown one, that's Fiona. Behind them is one of our paddocks. It's actually paddock number 1. That's where they are feeding right now. Some nice green grass. We haven't really had trouble with grass this year. We've had a lot of rain, so it hasn't been hard to feed them. Some summers when it gets dry, it gets a little dicey, but they are really enjoying today. Over here is a small dwelling that we built when we were breeding our sheep. It's where we kept our male, or hey, they're a little camera shy. Yeah, so that shack is where we kept the male away from the females until we wanted to breed them. They have a run off the back here, and that takes them out to our other paddocks. We have fenced in areas, and we'll close them down depending on how eaten down they are, and how much growth there is. But everything has been very green this year and growing well. So off to our right here is our main barn, and you can see just inside there is our hay feeder. It's kind of mostly wood, but then we also have a metal grate type system, so we throw the bale in on top, the bale of hay, and then they can eat from the sides and from the bottom. And we just supplement them during the summer in case there is no grass to eat, but like I said, it's been a very good year for grass. So just going to back up a little bit so you can get a perspective kind of on the barn. This is a pole barn that my husband built when we first moved to Vermont, and it's pretty much almost 20 years old now. I've decorated it with some staves. These over here were done by a lady I met at a farmer's market, and then I asked her if she had a larger stave that she could put the name of the farm on, and she was very nice. She obliged, and I got a stave with my farm name on it. Flower boxes. Flowers have been doing well as well. And then this is our main barn door in. A little dark inside here, so I'll put a light on. So as you can see over here to the left is a lot of tools, barnyard tools. We keep some oats on hand for the sheep as well as some grain, but they get that very sparingly. Extra fencing, extra tools for fencing. We have electrified fence around our sheep, and it's there somewhat to keep them in, but mostly to keep the predators out. So, and we do have predators in Vermont, quite a few of them, mostly coyotes. Up on the shelf are just some extra buckets, extra grain, dishes. This is our back door. And then this is our power source for the electric fence. And this is the handle in case we need to shut it down. We have to get inside for some reason. There's an extra house door. Typical Vermont barn. We have our step ladder, egg crates. Or actually, those are just regular crates. We have a few extra bales of hay that we keep on hand during the summer, like I said, to supplement in case there is a drought. But we've been far from drought conditions here. These are strings that we cut from the hay, and as you can see, we have quite a collection of them. More fencing. And then we just kind of have a medicine cabinet full of odds and ends so that we can just maintain things, maintain health of the sheep, that sort of thing. And this is our really big water bucket. And then this is like the interior. There they are. They're saying hello. Yeah. So this is just kind of a three-sided shelter for them. We don't want to really lock sheep into a barn because it leads to all sorts of health problems. We just want to make sure they have some shelter in case they need to come in out of a freezing rain or a driving wind, that sort of thing. All right, girls, behave yourselves. All right, don't come back out outside. There's Cooper waiting for me. This is our backyard. the nice copse of trees here that we have. We have a stone wall that leads back to my garden. And maybe I'll show you that at another time, another video. This is another entrance into our barn. And this is where we keep our chickens. Turn the light on again. That's a little better. Over here to the left, this is kind of my potting shed. A lot of odds and ends from keeping chickens and potting things. Over here on the right, we have storage for chicken feed, odds and ends. And then inside here we have, if I can get it open, it's always kind of tricky. Here we go. Go in, and they've all run away, of course, because that's what chickens do. But this is their feeder here, and their waterer. Over here we have boxes for laying eggs. And then up here is their roost bars, where they go at night. Let's see if I can stick down and we'll just catch them on the fly. There they are. These are chocolate Orpingtons, so a larger chicken. They have a pretty brown color and lay brown eggs. We've raised them from chicks, but they're still scared to death of us, so what are you going to do? Alright, so that is the chicken coop. We'll come back out. And close up here because if I don't, we don't want to let the chickens out. And there's Cooper. What are you doing, Cooper? You waiting for me, honey? Such a good dog. All right, and that's the end of our little tour. I'm just going to back up, give you a nice long shot of our barn and the chicken annex. And thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.